Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Yuliyana, and PM 204-1005. I'm from English Language Education from 5th semester. Okay, here I will explain the result of peer observation from Dinda's teaching practice. Okay, let's see. Here I have screen methodology for TESOL. Peer observation worksheet. The first is speaker information. Course name is English. Language material is descriptive text. Level of grade school is grade junior high school. Number of student is 15. Description of student age ranging from 13 until 15 years old, junior high school 8th grade, and elementary English level. Next is objective. The objective is have 3 points. First is student will be able to compare the social function of structure, text, and descriptive text. The second point is the student will be able to capture the meaning contextual relate to social function and descriptive text. And the last is number 3, the student will be able to compare oral and written descriptive text relate to animal, people, and object. And then skill focus, grammar structure, or vocabulary is skill focus is writing, grammar using grammar structure, and also vocabulary school to tourism attraction, histories, sites, and animal. And next is lesson. In the lesson, have 3 points: time, procedure, and not. And the first is 10 minutes, procedure, and warm up. And for next is the teacher opened the class by greeting the student, then asking how their condition is. And also the teacher check attendance. Okay, the next time is 15 minutes in presentation. The teacher began to explain about descriptive text that using the technique of lesson is used cycle building the knowledge. The teacher gave explanation about definition, characteristic, structure, and language rule of written on the board. And the third is 10 minutes in practice. In this section, the teacher gives a task for assessment by group. But before that, the teacher gives example first for student understanding when making descriptive text. And the last is 10 minutes in evaluation or assessment. At the end of the lesson, the student began to collect their work on the teacher desk. Then the teacher began to check assessment and just say good job. Then after that, teacher end class by closing. And next is reflection. In reflection, I have 7 points. Well, I explain. The first is, did the teacher use communicative language teaching? What action or activities did you observe to support your answer? Okay, the teacher does not use communicative learning and not use communicative learning because from the beginning to the end, the teacher does not actively communicate. The teacher only gives questions that can be answered with yes or no, and the teacher does not give questions that make students speak more actively. And then the second point is how much were the student involved in and engage with the lesson. To answer question with the answer yes or no, all children are involved, but for assignment collection, because of the 15 student, only two group were made, so only one representative from each group was to collect assignment. And the third is, what did you notice about teacher talk time versus student talk time? I didn't see a lot of student talking. I only saw a lot of teacher talking and explaining the material. Students only say yes and no when the teacher asks question. Students are not given the opportunity to give reason for answering yes or no. And I don't see more active interaction between teacher and student. Well, and the next point, what was the warm up of the lesson? I saw the teacher grade. I saw and when the class was absent, and there were different in the content of the lesson plan written into warm-up section. And what was practiced? The lack of doers is scene setting. Scene setting. The teacher saw an object that is around us. The teacher doesn't do that. And the next point is, how was the new material present? The teacher only asks questions to students whether student know the descriptive text material, just that. Without doing anything else, the teacher immediately proceeded to explain the material. And the next point is, how did the learner practice the new material? How did the learners practice the new material? The teacher provides material quite well, even though it feels boring because of such activities occur during learning only writing material. An example and is immediately followed by group assignment. Students are asked to make the descriptive text as an assessment material, and the extent of student understanding after studying the material that has been delivered by the teacher. While students are doing assessment, I don't see whether the teacher monitors student work, and after the student work is finished, the teacher check the assessment and just say, good job, give a plus, like that. And the last point is, was there an evolution? Okay, the teacher uh not using evolution in class. Material evolution is not carried out, not using evolution. And then also here in this page, write any final comment you have about the lesson you observed. Okay, my conclusion from this class is that the students in this class are less active because of the ineffectiveness ineffectiveness of the teacher. The class feels boring, starting with greeting, asking how they are, and just being absent without active interaction between the teacher and student, followed by presenting the lesson by simply writing down the material and descriptive text example. Then, after all the material has been delivered, the teacher does not make question part of the test of how much students understand the material that has been taught using longer answer, so that the class is more active and students do not only answer yes or no when asked by the teacher, such as the question, are you understand? And student answer yes, just like it. And when students are given group assignment, the teacher does not go around to check assignment work. After student complete assignment and submit assignment, the teacher does not discuss the content of the result of student assignment. The teacher only assesses himself with the answer, good job. Then the teacher does not evaluate the material and the teacher does not inform what will be learned in the next meeting. Will be next is I have your observation report. Okay, reflect in per observation report, and we have point about information, another information about reflect on the observation and write a page. Report on the experience and what you learned from this observation. And the second is use the following question as guide to creating a rich, detailed description of what is happening in the class. How did the teacher address the following aspect of language teaching? And then classroom and environment, student participant motivation and interest, teacher type, direction, feedback, language level, sequencing of the lesson, transition between activities, teaching language in content, and assessment. And also what could be improved. What would you like to incorporate into your own classroom? What did you learn from this experience? I'm sorry. What did I learn from this experience? Okay, I I have I already make the observation report. Okay, I will read. Okay, the warm-up of the teacher entering the class is quite good. The teacher has great and asks how absenteeism in only missing one point which the teacher did not practice in the teacher's lesson plan. The same setting is the teacher shows an object that is around us, and the teacher demeanor when warming up was still a little stiff, so it made the class atmosphere that had not started the material already tense. Then the teacher did not develop questions obtained by students, so the students are given the opportunity to ask to speak. Maybe if like that, communication between teacher and student will look more active like that. The class atmosphere looks boring because of the lack of activity among students. The teacher uses classes attended by female students. The teacher uses GBA teaching method when teaching. First, the teacher does a warm up. The continues the GBA cycle, namely is building knowledge and modeling. The teacher presents material and example, and after that, the teacher asks the student, do you understand? Student answer yes, without testing student by reviewing material point. The teacher immediately processed to cycle joint construction. Students were asked to make a descriptive text in group, and students made two groups. Each group creates a text. When students do assignment, the teacher does not monitor or check assignment by going around the classroom and does not ask about difficulties experienced by students. After students do the tasks, each group representative submit the result of making the text to the teacher. When the teacher reads the result of the student creation, the teacher does not comment but only says good job, give an apologize without any assessment or correction by conveying to student what they like and what they're strange. So students know which one are appropriate and which are not correct when making text descriptive. When doing the assignment, I saw that not all students did the assignment by discussing it because one group had too many members. Yes, I think. So, from the beginning to the end of teaching, the teacher uses English. There is combination of language during the warm-up. The teacher does not provide motivation at the beginning or end of the class. And the teacher taught more in-class activities. The teacher present the material in sequence. Only the teacher explained there are no reviews or trial or question and answer by student and teacher to find out whether student understand the material. Being taught before being given assignment by the teacher after the end of the lesson, the teacher does not provide learning evaluation and further lesson plans. After correcting, the teacher immediately closes the class. Yes. So, what can be improved? What can be improved from teaching activities is controlling the class calmly. During the warm-up, explaining the material present by appointing students to explain the material that has been delivered by the teacher. Mentioning the core point that students need to remember, preparing strategies, and learning media carefully to avoid boring classes. When I teach, I will include the first few strategy on how to play voice intonation to get students. Attention whether students are paying attention to the teacher when explaining the material. Trying to be open or fluid during warm-ups by discussing news update, something that students like at that time, or doing or other activities that invite students not to not to be tense and to take part in class comfortably. To avoid tension before entering the material and when explaining the material, I will use the repetition technique to help the student remember the point of the material that the teacher has confused, such as asking some student what is descriptive text, what is the structure of descriptive text. After all the question about the material are asked to student and student can remember it, the teacher try to repeat the material point followed by the teacher. That's part of the technique for reminding the material. So don't just explain once, immediately give the assignment. In this video, I studied the use of high-pitched uh, pitched voice to grab student attention when students are sleepy. Yes, that's uh, and also this is my PQP. Yeah, the last paragraph is my it's PQP from me, PQP feedback from me. For first is price. I appreciate the effort that went into the process of making the learning videos. I like the high pitch so I can hear clearly what the teacher is saying. And the next is question. Has the teacher prepared material, strategy, and media to streamline learning activities in class? That's my question. And the last is Poland. I hope the teachers can play a more active role in in enlivening the class atmosphere so the students are motivated in their learning. Increase the interaction between teacher and student so that the class look livelier. And when delivering lesson, it will be better. It It is good if students participate in learning, such as being able to make explain orally or in writing individually. Analyzing together, analyzing together example of descriptive text according to the structure, structure or language rules of descriptive text, and writing it one the blackboard. Mentioning an important point that have been learned without looking at the notes. Finally, making it more precise. Okay, maybe just it for me. Thank you very much. Um, when I make a result of the observation from Dinda's teaching practice. That's all from me. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.